Okay, so I'm planting some figs at the moment in the garden, and it is a great time of the year to actually plant figs. It's a great time of the year to plant anything because the soil is starting to warm up. We've still got moisture in the soil, so it is really a good time to plant fruit trees. Now that figs are incredibly tough, so for me planting a fig here makes sense because it doesn't require a lot of water. They'll need a bit of water to get established, but they are tough plants. Now, I bought these figs and they are very heavily root bound, and so what you've really got to do with a plant like this is really pull those roots out. Girdling happens otherwise, so those roots will just continue to girdle and actually can kind of cause the plant some stress in later years structurally. So you've really got to be pretty rugged with these. I didn't realise they were going to be that poor, but anyway. So you just make sure that there is no gurgling, no girdling. So I'm pulling those right around and right out. Okay, now I have pretty rugged soil up here. This isn't too bad as far as my soil goes. So I'm just digging that around. I'm not adding any extra soil into this hole because I've really got some pretty good depth of soil. As I said, figs are pretty tough, so I'm just going to dig that hole right around. Now there's no obvious clay layer there, so because what we've got to do if we do find a really heavy clay layer, you just got to try and break it up as best you can. Right, so once I've got my hole nice and deep, I just check that because here's my natural soil level, and you just plant them just a little bit below that soil level. So put a bit of that back, just position it where I want it, and then I crumb that soil right in and around my fig, pressing it down. Now I don't know if you can pick this up, but you just got to keep your soil level. You don't want to bury that too deeply. So, the height of the pot is about where the natural soil level is. And then I create a dish around that, just so it holds a bit of water. I fluff up my mulch. Now the only thing I'm going to add is I'm going to add some of my compost. Good compost that I've made, and it's cooked for a year or two. The thing is with compost, you never bury compost. You always keep the compost in the top 75-100 mil layer, and that's where the feeder roots will kind of come to. So I keep my bowl there, if you see in the soil, and that's pretty good. The last thing I'll do with a fig, and any time I plant plants, is I always like to water them in with seaweed or sea salt, and this stimulates root growth, so it's fantastic for getting new roots established. And I will water this with seaweed basically for the first 6 weeks. I'm just going to do that now. Now you put about a capful or so of it in the watering can, and then I just water that in. And it's that easy.